Hello, my friends. It is Maurice with Tesla. I'm back. Sorry for the hiatus. Been very busy once again. Summertime out here, and we're getting our good weather. Taking advantage of it. Been going on some little, just weekender type trips, and also doing a lot of rehearsing for some gigs that I've had here in the last couple of weeks. And yeah, to be quite honest, been hoping for a new update on full self-driving that has yet to come. And I'm not sure what's up with that, but we're waiting. We're very excited and anticipating the newest release. I know yesterday there was a video that Elon Musk posted himself. I don't know, is he trying to take over our YouTuber role as full self-driving beta tester? I don't know, but all I can say is my quality of content, I think, is better. I'm going to engage full self-driving. Here we go. Oh, pulling out in front of a car. It did do it successfully, although this person's coming up on us pretty fast, so the car is boogieing to get up to speed here, which is good. But yeah, Elon Musk just holding the camera in his hand is all like wonky, and he's flipping the the camera's view from like portrait to the more vertical view, which is hilarious. But nevertheless, he is the man that has the newest, I guess they call it the alpha version 12, that they've now redone the whole what do they, I don't even know what they call it. I'm so bad with technology terminology, but essentially they've rebuilt the software in some way to kind of start fresh and do it end to end on AI kind of modeling, which is different than what it was before. And again, I'm not the guy to talk to about the details of all that, but here we are taking a ride. The vehicle kind of sped up into this, and now it's going very slow, so a little unnatural, not how I would drive. But again, if we were in a robo-taxi, who gives a shit, right? It's just gonna make these turns, and again, over time, based on what I watch, I didn't watch the whole video. It's an hour-long video. Good for him. He's out there driving around Palo Alto looking for Zuckerberg's house to challenge him to a fight, which is absolutely preposterous and is not going to happen. It better not, anyways, because he's too valuable of a brain to have it getting punched on by some freaking nemesis billionaire. What in the world, right? Like, it's kind of crazy, but I get it. He's a goofy guy. He's trying to be rascally and silly, and nothing wrong with that. I think it's completely valid to, you know, laugh at ourselves and just kind of not take life too seriously and be kind of a ham it up sometimes. Why not? You know, I think some people are way too serious and take themselves way too serious and are driven by who knows what. We're not judging, but we're just saying it can be a little silly out there how people are, but it takes all types, right? I mean, I guess if there weren't serious people in the world, then we wouldn't have certain things. But levity and fun and laughter are certainly hallmarks of my personality that I'll never change. So deal with it, world. All right, so here we are. We're heading south. Haven't even mentioned anything about the stinking drive yet. Okay, so we're on a drive that I've shown you the return route from. I'm going to Tacoma, is what it is. And we're heading to a really cool neighborhood called Proctor, okay? It's this lively little kind of old Tacoma town. And as you're going to see on this drive, it's beautiful. Once we go by the, once we get down into that area, you're going to see the Tacoma waterfront. You're going to see going into downtown Tacoma. It's these cool freeways, and it's very accessible. I love how it's just set up to get to where I'm going, visiting a friend, and we're going to hang out and mix it up. But yeah, I hope you all are doing well. Like I said, it's been a couple of weeks since I've put out a video, And I feel a little bit bad about that, but we're back. My last video I thought was pretty cool, but it didn't get as many likes as I'd hoped, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe it had to do with the time of day I posted. Maybe it had to do with sharing it onto certain platforms. I noticed the one video that got over like 1,000 views or whatever and kind of semi went viral. I know it's not really viral, but for me it is. It's only my 5th or 6th video, and for it to get that many views was pretty astounding, actually. And I've tried to pick it apart and see what the secret sauce was or any of that. Well, like what the heck made it like so viewable. And I can't really say for sure what it was. I do know that my banter was pretty good in that. My kind of like mix between, like bantering and then sped up parts to another section of banter to more sped up parts on this sort of longest drive. It seemed like a very viewable video, I guess, in that regard. So, okay, vehicle's slowing down. I'm not intervening, but it is acting silly. Oh, no, it's not. It's doing the speed limit is what it is. The speed limit here is 25, but again, this is a section I like to fudge the speed because 25 is just way too slow. And now there is a car. We have to take a right, so I'm going to speed it up even more and see if the car will get over. Get over, vehicle. Let's go. Come on, Tesla, you can do it. Don't wait too long. Ooh, it's waiting too long. I'm going to have to, well, let's see, is it doing it right? Actually, I think it is doing it right. It's getting right on the freeway. This is the way we have to go. So, this other lane here, though, on the right, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but there's these little cones, these little, like, filler cones. Okay, no, slowing down. No, it is going good, good, good. A little hesitation there, but nevertheless, still no interventions. I'm gonna see if I can let it just do it. I've done this trip multiple times with 0 interventions, 0 disengagements, which is freaking amazing, because we're not on that alpha version that Musk has. We're still on 11.4.4, by the way, for those who care. And anyways, it should use this turn signal, as you saw on the merge there, which I think in the future it will, but I've pointed out before that needs to happen. Anyway, those cones back there are sometimes an issue for it when we are turning right, and that's in another video, but I was curious if we were to turn right, if they fixed it, because I did report it, and I'm going to start reporting every little thing, because Musk has made it clear that they want these incorrect sort of behaviors reported, because that does help. They get that video data, they feed it into the algorithm, and yeah, it's what's going to make a difference. It's, again, he said it's basically driving on full AI now. So he made some interesting points that there's no line of code in this software that says, be in that lane or swerve for bicyclists or whatever the situation may be. It just is going by video data, millions and millions and millions of clips of vehicles doing maneuvers, and it's pulling from that data pool in real time in seconds, which again is beyond my comprehension of exactly how it does that, but pretty remarkable stuff that it is able to just like say, oh, in some video clip, I imagine it saw the vehicle take a left here at this turn and needed to be in the left lane of that. Oh, this guy is getting close. He didn't come over, but anyways, yeah, it seems like the car is a little digital animal. I don't know. I keep saying that, but it feels like that. It feels like a little, like a wild horse in training. I just don't know any other way to put it. It just seems like it's still like finding its way, but it's getting it. Like, the robots are coming. It's just true. I don't know if they'll be here in my lifetime to the level that they are in, you know, the sci-fi movies. But I do know there's lots of money being put into this artificial intelligence kind of like real world, moving through the real world kind of mechanical entities, you know, cars, robots, drones, things that are just like autonomously on their own. It's like seeing the world and you know, visualizing it and thinking about it, and that's a trip. That was something I didn't know it was going to get to this level in my lifetime, and I'm sure it'll get even further in my lifetime, which I'm excited about. I really am. I'm just a futurist waiting for the future. But yeah, we're letting it go here. The vehicle is doing quite well. I do like to keep my hand on it as a security blanket. I've said that in the past, just because, you know, when you download the software as a beta tester, the first thing you'll notice on the sort of list of what the vehicle's capable of, and the upgrades that it's made, and what it means to be a beta tester, what you're responsible for, is to always be in control of the vehicle at all times. Full self-driving has gotten a lot of flack just based on its name, because of the fact that it is not full self-driving insinuates kind of that you don't have to do anything, you just sit there. Well, that's not true. We're not there yet. So I know they've been sued in the past, and they probably continue to be sued in the future, but eventually it will be full self-driving. But yeah, illuminating stuff in that Musk video, and I'll finish watching it at some point. It's freaking almost an hour long, which is longer than any of my videos. But I know there's also some other really cool things happening. I have not watched or read up on any of it. I played a long show last night, 3-hour gig, our first one, so that was pretty awesome. Pono Ranch in Ballard last night for a bunch of, you know, young 20-somethings just getting their groove on, and I gotta say it was a blast. We were doing it up like rock stars do. We played a whole set of pop hits, everything from Harry Styles to like Lady Marmalade by Patti LaBelle. We had you know, a little bit of everything. Chili Peppers, Fleetwood Mac. We were taking requests, did the whole darn thing, and people were up at the front of the stage dancing and just having a blast, and just like I envisioned. This is what I do. I envision things and they happen, and that's the secret to life, my friends. If you don't know, all you have to do is think it and will it into existence. Who knew, right? It works, believe it or not. But that was a really good time, and look forward to doing more gigs with my band. It's been a fun summer so far. We're finally getting in the groove of getting regular gigs and performing and coalescing, and just all beautiful stuff. Like I say, that I can't wait to do more of. But yeah, that's all the update there. And yeah, this drive, you're gonna see it's gonna be flawless, 100% flawless. But going back, I haven't been able to watch any videos because I was busy. But I do know that there's a release date for the Cybertruck, or wait, what was it? It was more like a, what do they call that? It's like a delivery event, Cybertruck, first delivery kind of a thing. They've done it with all their other models, and they're fun, you know. I do believe the first round of Cybertrucks, like all their vehicles, will go to employees first, ahead of whatever reservations there are, which is already in the millions, I believe. There's over 1 million reservations for the Cybertruck, which is awesome. And there's likely to be a lot more after people start seeing them on the roads. You and be like, what the heck is that thing? Holy crap, you know, and I'd take him to the website and likely either buy a Tesla Cybertruck or get on the waiting list anyway, or just buy a Model Y like I've got, you know, and that's good for everything to do with the mission, changing everyone over to electric, getting them onto sustainable energy vehicles, and reducing carbon emission in the world, which is a passion of mine since I was a young man, and a science teacher told me that we are the liaisons of the planet and to care for it, and kind of planted a little seed in my brain, and I think we've largely and sadly failed at that. You know, powers that be have maintained control of keeping everyone on fossil fuels, but nevertheless, there's still time, I believe, and hope, and that's about the best we can. That's about the best we can do right now. But they're doing big things at Tesla. People are buying their vehicles. I'm seeing them all over the roads. They're getting more and more popular. I do wish they would get more superchargers though. Okay, here's the story. So I was last weekend not posting a video either because I was on a road trip, and I thought about it multiple times about, you know, filming on that road trip. But you know how it is. You're on the road. You're taking in things and having fun, and I just wasn't in the mood to film. I'm kind of taking a break from life, right, when we're on a weekender like that. So me and my partner were we were out there doing it big on the islands. We went out to Anacortes, Washington, which if you've never been to the Pacific Northwest, I would say if you want a little bit of that like old worldy kind of small town country feel, but in the Pacific Northwest, go to Anacortes. It is a charming community. It is so charming. Okay, so the guy wants to get left, and here's a little bit of a mistake by the vehicle. It just doesn't recognize other vehicles, turn signals, wanting to get into the lane, you know, and there really was no reason for him to get over, but he wanted to, and as a human, I would have backed off the throttle and just let him in. So that'll be interesting. At what point will that happen, I wonder? Maybe take a pulse. See, now here he did finally get in front of me, but he had to speed up and assert himself. So I guess that's the way it is. You just do have to assert yourself. He had enough of a gap. If he'd have done that maneuver sooner, he'd have been able to get in front of me sooner. But again, as a human, a courteous driving human, I would have just let off the throttle, let him in, and that would have been that. So we'll wait for that improvement, future iterations. But yeah, back to the weekender trip. The car did very well, and I used it. I actually used it quite a bit. Full self-driving, that is. But I just didn't record. You know, I had my partner with me, and we were just focused on each other and chatting and talking and enjoying each other's company and time and that sort of thing. Okay, so we are in a construction zone, but it dropped down to 50, which is kind of annoying. It's not really doing the flow of traffic. So right there, I did up the speed manually to get us just to be with the flow of traffic, and that's okay. So not an intervention, but just a little adjustment manually. But yeah, the only other thing, going back once again to this weekender trip on the island, Anacortes, we went to Deception Pass, which is gorgeous. Never had been there. It's this bridge. You can walk across it. We walked most of it, turn around, but just amazing views. Went to the top of a mountain called Mount Erie. It's super cool. You can drive to the top of it, which I love, because even though I'm a hiker, I'm a very active person. This place is super cool just because you can like drive to the top of a mountain that has a view that's just spectacular. You can see islands for days, and it was smoky up here because we got wildfires, Oregon, Eastern Washington, and in Canada. We're kind of surrounded, and you couldn't see it, but I had been there one other time about 30 years ago on the same mountain with a friend when I first moved to Seattle, and it's amazing. You can see all the volcanoes in this region, and that was wild. So you have Mount Baker, you have Mount Rainier south of that, and then south of Mount Rainier is Mount Adams. South of Mount Adams is Mount St. Helens, and so on and so forth. You could see all those. 30 years ago when I was up there, I was like blown away. I was like, whoa, this is so cool. But sadly we couldn't see it this weekend because it was smoky. But no worries, we could still see plenty. I posted some really cool pictures and video, and just breathtaking, gorgeous, beautiful stuff. So if you ever get a chance, go on a little drive out to Whidbey Island. You can get there again by mainland, by going out to Anacortes, heading south, crossing the Deception Pass Bridge, which then puts you on the island of Whidbey, which is the 4th longest island in the United States, and it is the longest island in Washington State. So, a couple facts there for you. But yeah, the long-winded story that was to get me to the point that the only bummer was there's no supercharger stations out there. In fact, there are no supercharger stations even when you get to the peninsula. So once you leave Whidbey Island, unless we would have went back the way we came, and we could have got to a supercharger again, like near I-5, which is the main freeway, main corridor that goes from Canada to Mexico. We all know about it. It's this kind of main artery where all the superchargers are kind of like strategically placed to get you from one stop to the next if you're on a long road trip or whatever. But once you get out into these rural areas, rural, it's the worst word in the world, by the way. I can't, it's so hard to say that word. Rural parts of the country, or Washington in this case, you just don't see the supercharging stations yet. So it wasn't an issue. We had plenty of charge, because again, I charged up in Burlington, which is kind of directly parallel with Anacortes, and then it's just like a 30-minute drive from there to Anacortes, and then everything's very close. So once you're out there, it's like 15 minutes to that mountain I mentioned that we went to the top of, and then another 15 minutes to Oak Harbor, and then another 20 minutes to, you get the idea. Like, we just kept kind of hopping around different little small towns and enjoying whatever it had to offer on this road trip. But there are no superchargers. I didn't even see any there was one destination charger actually at the hotel where we stayed, the Majestic, which again I highly recommend Anacortes for their just charming little shops, restaurants, nightlife. They have that hotel, the Majestic, which has this really cool structure that's old school and just beautiful architecture. And then their next door, kind of newer, updated building has a rooftop bar and restaurant, which I thought was super cool. And the food was just spectacularly good, really crazy good. And they must have like some world-class chefs that are hoarding over there, because I've not tasted food that good in a long time. Okay, so we're getting off the freeway and junctioning over onto the city center freeway, the 705, going into Tacoma, just to continue the narration. And it did that pretty smoothly. There was a big truck on our left. It had its turn signal on, and I was a little bit nervous, but as you can see, I can talk to you, and I can trust that Tesla will do the do here and get us to where we got to go. Okay, so there's some traffic here. We do have to get off on this Schuster, and sometimes it acts a little silly on this. There's a car on the right, it needs to get over, so it's backing off. I like this. So I decided it wanted to slow down, let that vehicle on our right proceed, and then get in behind it, which is pretty killer. I like that. Very human-like. But yeah, this is the gorgeous downtown Tacoma area I was talking about. These things here, this blue like kind of glass bulbs you just saw, those are Chihuly pieces of art. There's a world famous glass blower that does projects around the planet. I've been to Dubai, by the way, and he has a pretty cool display there. He has one in the Bellagio in Vegas, things like that. Anyways, he's world famous. What he does, that was some of his art there. But yeah, here we are at Tacoma's port here on our right, and we're about to be on the Tacoma waterfront also. So again, just a really cool area. Now it is not in the right lane. I'm gonna make it get in the right lane because it will make this mistake from time to time. So it was staying on the right. It might have got over, but I didn't want to risk it for the biscuit, if you know what I mean. And so I put on my turn signal. So that was an intervention. We'll call that one intervention so far, because otherwise we would have. And again, I didn't have to, so maybe I shouldn't call that an intervention. I could have let it do the trickier route through the center of town. But I like this drive. I just want you all to see how gorgeous it is down here. I just think this area is just the freaking cat's meow. It's got it going on. They have music in the park kind of things during the summer out here. This old town section that we're gonna drive through here in a few minutes is just super charming. It's got like, you know, buildings with the like date that they were built on them, like placarded on, like early 18 or late 1800s, and yeah, they've just done a really good job at preserving the kind of history of this old town section, which I think is awesome. There's even like an old log cabin in one of the parks. It's obviously got some history to it that I don't know, but it's super cool. But yeah, this is beautiful. I'm seeing sailboats here on my right. Obviously you can't see them. The camera's field of view is much less, but just trust me, this is gorgeous out here right now. I am noticing there's still a lot of smoke lingering in the area, so you know, sadly, yeah, the smoke and the fire season is upon us. It's been a really dry summer here in Seattle. We did have rain just for a little bit yesterday, but in general it's just been super hot, super dry, and very few reprieves of any kind of rainfall or precipitation. So it's a tinderbox, even here in western Washington, which tends to be quite lush and green. It can only take so much. You know, we're having road freeway like brush fires and stuff, and it's been a little scary around here too. Obviously, I'm sure you've all heard about the Maui fires. It's super devastating, awful, just very sad stuff, because I was just in Lahaina last year. I'd never been to Maui. It was the only island out of the Hawaiian Islands that I hadn't been, and I was so excited to finally go there, and it did not disappoint at all. In fact, it is my favorite island now, and in fact that little town stole my heart. So the fact that it no longer exists just freaking blows. Okay, so we had some erratic slowing down there, kind of ghost phantom braking, but nothing too major. The speed limit stuff here is kind of weird, so I'm fudging the speed limit a little bit with the manual control here. But yeah, because there are people behind us. They're probably local and they're gonna get pissed off if I don't. So Yeah, this is the old town Tacoma that I was mentioning. It's super cute, super cool houses in this area. I've gone some walks with my friend, and they're just, the houses are just sick. Wish I had one. You know, $1 million houses, but yeah, they're super cool. Anyways, yeah, Lahaina, just so sad. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just think it was incompetence and a perfect storm of wind, dry conditions, the topography of the area. There's a lot of science behind why that place was just inevitable. It was an inevitability for something like that to happen. The buildings are super old, and that is part of the charm. I remember going there and going, "Oh, these buildings are so cool." They're like, I don't know, it's just very unique. And there's a similar area in Kona I remember going to a couple years before, but when I went to Lahaina, I was like, whoa, this is like that place in Kona, but on like a more like just awesome level. It was like next level up. It was huge and long, expansive, and just so much vibrancy and people like milling around, and music and restaurants and live music and all this. It's just amazing. All the little shops and art. I just was so in love with it. So for it to be just completely wiped out, it's still surreal. Okay, what is it? So had another phantom brake check there. That's weird. Not sure why it did that. There was no reason at all. Huh. Anyway, cranked it up to 35. Let's keep it rolling. There's a line of cars behind us. But as you can see, this has been a long drive with me rambling on, which you love. You love it. I don't know. Maybe you're annoyed by now, but I just think this car is freaking awesome on this route. Again, I've not had like hardly any interventions in the last, month or so that I've been driving down here. Or that Tesla's been driving down here, because it hasn't been me largely doing it. I just let it do it at this point and sit back and enjoy the ride. But yeah, still smoky around here from the fires, and yeah, I just hope Lahaina gets rebuilt back to what it was, and none of the conspiracy stuff about land grabs from the wealthy trying to come in and build some, okay, so the car's hesitating here. It needs to go. It needs to go. I did let it go, but it was a little slow for my taste. But again, if you're in a robo-taxi, you're not going to care. You're sitting there on your phone, not even paying attention. It would just be the cars behind, again, that you want to, I would consider. Probably be annoyed. But that's about it. What's 5 seconds of their life matter? Maybe it matters a lot. I don't know. But in general, this vehicle is just absolutely amazing. I'm so happy to bring you this content, show you these amazing drives where it's going vast distances, fully autonomous, fully in control. Where I'm doing 0 to like near nothing as far as involvement or controlling. The only thing I've done so far on this drive has put on a turn signal and either raise the vehicle's speed manually up or down, and that's about it. Right here we're in an area where there's a lot of it needs to, okay, now I did intervene there because there's a lady crossing the street and it did not pick her up soon enough, and I'm gonna let these people go too. Wow, yeah, it's a little farmer's market right here, so got a little tripped up by that, and it may have stopped for her, may not have, but I am going to go, or we're just going to be stuck here forever. So yeah, I'm creeping through there, just like the car would. I'll re-engage. But yeah. Okay, so now it's kind of hugging. It just getting close to these cars on the shoulder, which is a little strange. So still drives like, you know, a teenager learning to drive, but it'll get there. But yeah, pedestrians, lots of action. Again, in my last video, it was in kind of a tour of downtown Seattle, or Seattle area in general, and that was interesting. Okay, it wants to go around this car, but it chickened out. It like thought about gunning it around it and then did not. Now it's waited for them and now going through on its own. We're almost to the destination, so I'm going to disengage here fairly soon. But thanks for watching. This has been a fun drive. Like I said, it's pretty much done this flawlessly. It's got some obstacles, but yeah, I'm gonna disengage there, turn this parking lot, call it a day, and hope you enjoy and have a wonderful weekend. And we'll see you in the next one. This is Maurice with Tesla telling you to go out there, kick butt, take names. Boom!